Hello, viewers. Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. Now, as you can see around me, I've got lighting, electric lighting, but Ben has got a power cut where he is. He lives out on the outskirts of town, and he's got no electricity, but he has got a working mobile phone. Don't know how much battery it's got on it. And have you got a torch?
And on the seventh day he said, "Let there be light." Ooh, ah, ooh.
There he is.
Yeah, I got torch.
Wow.
All right, dude.
Great. How are you doing?
Well, I'm hungry.
Surviving?
I've got 90,000 million luminums blasting in my eyeballs at the moment. And I'm looking a little bit biblical. Look. Ooh.
Have you got any baked beans? Have you a prepper? Have you got lots of baked beans and an AK-47 stashed away there?
I have, and I've got some shredded wheat.
That's good. How long is the power cut scheduled to last?
Well, it was supposed to come back on at 6 p.m., then 8 p.m., and now they're saying 10 p.m. So
thanks,
I may have to
Western
read.
Power.
It probably, yeah. No, rubbish power is what it is. But yeah, I may have to start reading Philster. And to be fair, I've only got one book left with 3 pages that are waterproof and chewable. So it could be a long night.
Could be. No YouTube tonight. So we are here to finish 1992 because we have gone through the month of March, the third month of the year, and the third year of the 90s was 1992. So have you settled on a trio, Ben?
I think so. It's really hard, but it's actually harder because there's no real massive album, if you know what I mean. So, shall we do one each to start off with? Shall we go you, me, or do you want me to tell you my 3?
We could. I think we should. Shall we alternate? Would that be more fun?
Yeah.
I don't know. We could have done a viewer poll on that, couldn't we? But I don't think anyone's really going to be that bothered, are they? So, Who's starting? Soon as you've got no power, perhaps you better start and give us your first one before your battery runs out.
My first one is Bizarre Ride to the Far Side by the Far Side. I think that's it. Yeah. So I'm going for that because I liked it more than I did The Chronic by Dr. Dre, funny enough.
Okay.
And I've liked the Far Side for a little while. So I do like to be slightly hip-hop heavy in the early 90s. I think that's where I'm going to go. So, yeah,
I'm amazed at how hip-hop heavy you are. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm amazed at your hip-hop heaviness.
I know. People have said I'm a heavyweight in the hip-hop world. So
yeah, you need to give yourself a rapper name.
I think Big Popper.
Sounds about right.
I'm thinking that's a good one. But no, I really enjoyed and I think we had the discussion as well that it's got less sort of meaningless profanity than the Dr. Dre album. The Dr. Dre album was good, but I actually prefer that. I like the sort of vocals on the Bizarre on by the Far Side. So that's stole it for me. That's in at number 3 or number 1. It doesn't really matter because it's any old 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could rank them. I'm still having difficulty deciding what the final 3 are. In fact, I've still got some in front of me that I'm still kind of debating on, trying to find ways to. But I've ended up going with. Well, I don't know. Well, shall I show you my first one? The first one. Get the obvious one. Get the obvious one out of the way because this was predictable.
Does it begin with R and then with M? Oh, he's gone. Oh, Phil.
Have I gone?
Oh, he's back. He's back. REM. I knew it'd be that. I was going to put that in, but obviously I knew you were going to choose that, so I didn't need to choose it.
Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of this album at the time. Of course, REM didn't tour this album. I did see them a few years afterwards.
Why didn't they tour it? Did they ever give a? Oh, they obviously gave a reason at the time.
I think they were just sort of a bit bored of touring, and so they did Out of Time, and then they kind of decided, oh, we're going to do another album the next year straight away. They didn't do a tour for Out of Time either. So
Yeah.
they then just went through this sort of studio period. But yeah, what can I say about this album hasn't already been said. I mean, it was very popular at the time. I was amazed at how popular it became, because it's actually quite a melancholy album in many ways, isn't it? It's, there's a lot of songs on it
Yes.
that are
Yeah.
quite reflective and mellow. It's not as if they made a record that was aimed at having hits, and yet they ended up having quite a few hits off this. The Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight was played on the radio. Everybody Hurts was played a lot at the time.
Yeah.
The Man on the Moon.
I love that song. That's possibly my favourite REM song. I've just got to itch my face, and my torch is going to move.
You itch your face. But the heart of this album, I think, is on songs like Drive and Sweetness Follows, and maybe the closing track, Find the River. But yeah, we could go through the album and do a show on it. But there you go. REM, Automatic for the People, was always going to be in my top 3 for 1992. So what have you got, Ben, as your second album?
My second album, it's a toss-up really between the Ride album, Tori Amos's Little Earthquakes, and Criss Cross. Now, why the Ride?
That's a diverse selection, it has to be said.
I know, but the Ride album isn't getting in for me because, like I said in the last episode, sonically really, really good. Lyrically, a bit weak, I'd say, on that album.
But Criss Cross isn't. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yep. Because I really want to... Right, this is where my split comes. I really like the Tori Amos album more than I thought I was going to like it. So therefore, I kind of want to put it in. Oh no, I could easily put the Bon Jovi album in as well, because that was going to go in. But then I really want you to listen to Criss Cross. Yes. So I enjoyed that because it's just Bon Jovi, isn't it? You can put it on and it's all about the hits. So, but there's a massive part of me that wants you to listen to a Criss Cross album. Come the end of the year,
I've already seen Criss Cross live. I checked. They did support Michael Jackson in 1992.
Yeah, but did you actually stand and watch them?
I don't remember. I don't know. I remember their song, their Jump, Jump, Jump being on, and I remember kids near the front jumping to this Jump, Jump, Jump. But I couldn't quite remember whether it was just played over the PA or whether I actually saw them. But it was them. I did see them. So I've seen them. I've been there, done that. My hip hop life is complete. I saw Criss Cross. What else do I need to do?
Yeah, but there's part of me that thinks you need to listen to that album in full. I am really torn. This one, because there's nothing that massively stands out, and
it's your favourite. It's what if you think of it as Desert Island, you think that you're going to go to be in a prison or on a desert island for a long time, and you've got 3 albums from 1992 to take. Which ones are you going to take? Which ones are you going to enjoy? Which ones are going to do it for you?
I'll take the Bon Jovi album.
Well, that's just one way to do it, but I mean, it's your choice, not mine.
Do you know what? I thought I had my 3, and I knew that at some point in our discussion, my choices were going to come crumbling down around me. Do you know what your number 2 is yet? I'm going to go.
I'll tell you what. You've been mentioning one of the albums that's on my short list that could well make it for me, but it depends whether you pick it.
But I'm not going to choose the Bon Jovi one then, because I think that's probably it. So it's between Criss Cross and Tori Amos. What a fight that would be! Imagine that.
2 13-year-old rappers 13-year-old rappers climb Tori's piano and jump around on top
Yeah,
of it.
start jumping on it. Do you know what? Just for laughs and giggles, I'm putting crisscross in.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Well,
I'm doing it. I'm going crisscross. Sod it. I don't care. I really like the Tori Amos album, and I think I would want a bit of diversity if I was on a desert island. But if I wanted something for that mellow rock, I would just take the Bon Jovi album. But I'm going to go left field, and I'm going to go crisscross.
well, I had two women singer-songwriters vying for this position. Okay. Now, one of them was
Tori Amos.
Suzanne Vega. One of them was Suzanne Vega with her album
Yeah,
99.9 Fahrenheit.
degrees
The other one
Fahrenheit.
is Tori Amos. So now the thing is, I liked this Suzanne Vega album. It was a little bit quirky. She had Mitchell Froome produce
Yeah.
it. There was a little bit of a sort of electronic industrial influence on some of the songs. It was
Yeah.
kind of groovy. There's some good
The
singles
songs
on it.
on the Tori Amos album are very good.
They're very, very good. Now, I actually saw Suzanne Vega perform a lot of this live the year after. I think it was in '93. Saw her at a theatre in Nottingham. I've never seen Tori Amos perform, but I have to say that although I do like Suzanne Vega and I like her vocal style and I like her songs, the thing with the Tori Amos album is I do think this is probably a '90s masterpiece.
I do as well, but I
It's
knew you were
that
going to
good.
choose it. So I'm taking crisscross.
It's that good. If you haven't heard Little Earthquakes, it's worth a listen. I mean, there's clearly an influence of Kate Bush
Oh, massive,
to a degree.
huge influence of Kate
Um,
Bush.
There's also other influences as well, but the songs, they're mainly piano led, aren't they? Some
Yes, yeah.
very piano, lots of piano, some not so much. But it's all what would you describe it as? It's a bit of a female empowerment album, isn't it? I think it must
It
have
is, yeah.
been an influence on one of the biggest female sort of feminist type albums of the '90s was that one from Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill.
Jagged Little Pill, where she released
This,
a million singles from.
yeah. Now, this must have been an influence on that. This, I mean, obviously, this is also influenced, I would say, by Joni Mitchell as well, and
Yeah,
the sort of the so-called confessional women songwriters. But there's just something amazing about this. I don't think this is actually Tori Amos's debut album. I think she was in some band or something, or she'd made an album before. But I think perhaps this counts as her solo debut album. But you would think it was an album made by an artist several years into their career, wouldn't you? But it's so well done. Can't really say enough good things about it. So I think it's going to be my second choice. So Tori
thank you,
Amos,
Phil. Thank you for digging me out the crisscross hole.
Little Earthquakes is in.
That makes me feel better now. Not only is Tori Amos in, but you are also going to have to listen to Crisscross. This couldn't have been any more. And as Lou Reed once said, a perfect day. So my favourite album of 92 is, because this is my favourite album of 92, I put it on the other day and I must listen to it 4 or 5 times. And I was like, why have I never listened to this before? This is really, really good. And I can't remember the title of it because I'm hungry and there's a power cut. But it was done by one of rugby's finest. It is spiritualised, and you can fill in the gaps of the album title.
It's Laser Guided Melodies.
That's the one. I was like, yeah, this is it. As soon as I put it on the first track, I was like, yeah, this is going to be mega. So I'm going for the local boy in the photograph, Jason Pierce. Is it Jason Pierce? So,
Jason Pierce, one time of Spacemen 3, and then the main man
that's the
of
one, yeah.
Spiritualized.
And from our hometown as well. So, yeah, I'm going for that. A really, really good album. Just everything about it. It was an easy listen, if that's such a thing. So
I remember
Yeah.
it was acclaimed. It was acclaimed at the time. Was it the top-rated indie album of that year? Possibly that, or the Ride album, maybe.
Yeah, well,
But
the ride down was good. It just let itself down on a few tracks with the lyrics, and I really enjoyed this album. So it wasn't difficult. It was, I mean, it was obviously difficult to make. I mean, I'm just going to itch my leg. Torches going down. But I really enjoyed it, and as soon as I put it on, I was like, yeah, this is knocking Bon Jovi out of the park.
out of the park, knock him out of the park.
Yeah.
Well, I had a bit of a thing about this because my third album is kind of predictable for me, and I wasn't going to put this because
Can I guess?
go on. Well, you can guess if you like. I was thinking I wasn't going to put this artist because I was thinking I'm pretty sure they're going to have another album in another year. But I can think of maybe 2 or 3 artists who will possibly have more than one album in the top 3 for me. In different years they'll get 2 albums in top 3s. And I was thinking this
Yeah, I'm
artist
probably going to have that.
might not do that, but then I'm thinking they probably will because they're one of my favourites. So, and I've gone with what I love and what I liked a lot. Although I do like this more now than I liked it at the time. But do you want to guess what it is?
Is it Prince?
You're right. It's the album that doesn't have a title. It's Prince and the New Power Generation, and
Generation.
they call it the Love Symbol album. That's what it generally got known as. This is a weird, in many ways, a weird album. I talked about Diamonds and Pearls last time, which of course was
Yeah, yeah.
Prince's album that he made with the New Power Generation, the band that he put together from Minneapolis musicians in the early 90s. And this is the same band, essentially, although Rosie Gaines, the soul singer, whom Prince compared to Aretha Franklin, had left the group by this point.
Nothing
So
compares to her.
exactly. So this is kind of it was designed to be a concept album, and the concept, it doesn't really matter about the concept because it's Prince, but the concept was about a prince that marries this princess or something, and it's some kind of bizarre Arabian thing. I really don't know, but the original idea was that the album told the story of this, so a bit like a Pete Townsend rock opera.
Yeah.
And Prince got Kirstie Alley, the actress from
Actress.
Cheers, to record
Sadly
some.
passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Kirstie Alley's on the album. She plays a reporter who is trying to get an interview with the Prince, but he ended up cutting a lot of her bits off the album to squeeze more songs on. So the narrative doesn't really work quite as well unless you actually do the background and read about it. But the thing about this is I wasn't going to put this on because at the time I kind of liked some of the album, but I thought the whole thing was maybe a bit OTT and a bit overlong and whatever. You swap arms. But in the years since, I've come to appreciate it more. Maybe because Prince has died, and so we'll never get another of his big, wacky, over the top albums. But I mean, there's some great playing on this by the band. Apparently, they recorded a lot of it just bam. They just played it and recorded it. And there's so many tracks on here that are just so funky, and I just really enjoy this album. So
that's what this is about,
because I enjoy it, I'm going to put it on. So it's got Sexy MF. Remember Sexy MF?
Sexy mother.
The James Brown style one. Amazing drumming by Michael Bland on that. Such a beat. It's just superb. There's some great ballads on here. Song called Sweet Baby, a song called Damn You.
You'll have to excuse my lighting.
Songs.
I can't get it, but I wanted it.
Some funky stuff. And there's an almost autobiographical song at the end called, bizarrely, The Sacrifice of Victor, in which Prince makes reference to the fact that he was bussed during that period in America, the Civil Rights era, when black children were taken by bus to school in order to be racially desegregated.
Oh yeah, it's segregation.
So there's a little bit of Prince's life in here as well. But yeah, just a mad, funky album. And I have put this on despite the fact that it has got a reggae song on it. Would you believe that, Ben?
My mind is blown. Isn't it
So
weird when you get these albums with
I'm
no
going,
album
yeah,
title, they end up having a rubbish album title because people name them. Apart from the White
yeah.
Album,
I
that's
suppose
got
it's
quite
the
a good album title.
white. That's okay. Yeah, they named that's known as the Love Symbol album. Who else has done an untitled album? Oh, Pearl Jam have got one called it's not Aubergine, it's Avocado.
Yeah, that's rubbish.
You heard of that one?
No, but it sounds rubbish.
It's just got a picture of a sliced avocado on the front. I'm trying to think who else has got an untitled album that's known as something. Well, there's those Peter Gabriel ones, aren't there, that are known by descriptions of the photographs on the front. Scratch,
Yeah.
Car, and can't remember the other one. Well, I don't know why we're going off at a tangent about that. So those are our 3 albums each of 1992. We have to immediately move on to 1993 because things are going to get
Suede.
even more difficult. Yeah. Suede's debut. What else happened in 93? Nirvana did In Utero.
They did.
What else was in 93? What else was in 93? That was the biggest American act I can think of that released an album in 93. I'm trying to think of any more.
Oasis got signed.
So yeah, but I think Suede were the biggest name in British
They were.
indie type
Didn't
guitar
Blur
music,
release an
weren't they,
album
for sure?
Did Blur have an album out in
I
93?
think
Was that 94?
yeah, because I think they did, because I think Modern Life is Rubbish was 1993.
Yeah. Not
And then
very
Part
well
Life was the
received
next
album,
year.
that one.
I think, I don't know. I seem to remember it getting good reviews, but I may be wrong about that. But I seem to remember it being like
I think it
appearing
lacked
on
hit,
recommended
didn't
lists.
it?
It doesn't really have a hit that anybody would really know. Many people would know that well. I can't try to think what the best known song on it is. Whether there was even a single. There must have been a single, but it wasn't one that
There
really
was.
had
Yeah.
an
Isn't there a
impact.
music
Not
video
like
where they're rolling down a grass hill or something like that? So.
yeah, I'm trying to think what that is. But it certainly didn't have singles on it in the way that Park Life did, for sure.
So we are opening the doors, beginning to find our way into a bit of Britpop.
We need to know, viewers, what are your personal favourite albums of 92? Where did we get it completely wrong? Although we didn't get it totally wrong, did we? Because they're our favourites, so they're as valid as anyone else's favourites. But we'd still love to know some albums that we perhaps should have had on there. And 93, what would you have as your top 3 of
that
93?
would be handy.
That would be great for you, wouldn't it, Ben? Yeah. Get your shaver fired up. That would be useful. So, with that, viewer, thank you very much for watching. Join us for another full record jacket very soon and a completely amped up Ben. Until then, from us both,
You hope.
it's bye for now.